Welcome to Smart in the City, the BABLE podcast. I am your host, Tamlin Shimizu, and really at BABLE, we aim to connect the players in the smart city industry with high quality information and ideas through our platform and services. This podcast is really an extension of this goal and mission to drive the change for a better urban life. First, a quick announcement from BABLE. We are delighted to announce a new interactive online training course, Smarter Connected Places, Experiential Learning for Tomorrow's Urban Leaders. You can find the link for more information and how to register in the show notes. The training starts on November 15th, so make sure not to miss it. Now, on to our regular programming. So I'm sitting here with some special guests, of course, as always. But we just finished a week at the Urban Mobility Days in the Czech Republic. So we're sitting here in the beautiful city of Brno. And I get the chance to welcome a guest that you've actually heard before as well. I get the chance to also speak to Greek guests again, which is always a special thing. Also, just in advance to not judge me too hard on the Greek name pronunciations, please. But yeah, so if you've been following along for a little bit, then the first guest needs no introduction, but I will still introduce her, of course, for our new listeners. So Katerina and Kosmas works for the Greek-speaking branch of the CIVITAS initiative, the CIVINET Greece-Cyprus, and she's the network manager, but she also does a lot of other things as well. So welcome again, Katerina, onto the show.
Nice to see you again, Tamlin. It's always nice to be with you in person, in the podcast.
Everywhere.
Exactly.
Always nice to have you. You can come on a third time and a fourth time in the future too. So
I'm pretty sure that it will happen.
Okay, good. And today, of course, you're also privileged enough to have on another special guest who you haven't heard before. But his name is Kosmas Anastopoulos, which I definitely did not say right. So please, Kosmas, tell me your name.
Great pronunciation. It's Kosmas Anagnostopoulos.
There we go. That's the right way to say it. And he is the founder and coordinator of CIVINET Greece-Cyprus. So, hi, Kosmas. Lovely to have you here.
To be here with you, and thank you very much for your invitation.
Anytime, really. So we always get started here on the podcast with a little warm-up exercise. A while ago, for one of the first episodes of this podcast, I sat down with Yanis, who is the vice mayor of Heraklion, and I asked him this exact same question. So it is, tell me one thing most people don't know about Greece. Either one can answer, or you can feed off of each other.
It can be anything.
Anything.
Well, in Greece, we are celebrating 2 times, one for our birthday and one for our name day.
Ah, so you get 2 birthdays every year?
In a kind of, kind of.
I think that's just a Greek excuse for partying an extra day, right?
Yes, of course. We have a lot of opportunities to party.
Good. I had no idea, so thanks for the little knowledge update. So now, of course, we want to get to the why we're all listening here, and that's to find out all about your work and more about the Greek cities that you support and everything about this ecosystem. So as I mentioned, we're coming from the Urban Mobility Days. So CIVINETs are essentially born out of the CIVITAS initiative. But can you talk, maybe Kosmas, about the background of CIVINET Greece-Cyprus? How did it start, and how have you developed it this far?
Mm-hmm. First of all, during 2015, I was working for the Sustainable Greek Islands Network, which is called in Greek Daphne. I founded there the Sustainable Mobility and Special Planning Department. And then we tried to bring all the Greek islands into the CIVITAS community. At the same time, the ECOM conference was organized in Athens. So we had the opportunity to meet in person the CIVITAS Secretariat. And after that, there was an open call from CIVITAS Secretariat that we applied creating a great coalition, a great alliance of Greek cities. And this was the starting point for CIVINET Greece-Cyprus, together with a few initiatives that we took before founding this network and after its establishment.
Yeah, super interesting. And maybe to Katerina, I wonder if you can talk a little bit about why you think the CIVINET is important for Greece to have. Like, why do you think, organizations need? Why do you think that organizations like yours need to exist? I guess.
Well, I think there's so many reasons in order to have a network like that in Greece. Because even though there may be a lot of organizations and consultancies that they're working on sustainable mobility issues, still Greece, unfortunately, is far behind from the rest of Europe regarding sustainable mobility. So I think that because of the fact that the CIVITAS community is such a strong one and it's so dedicated, I think that it can bring a great value to the Greek cities. Of course, the cities need to be dedicated as well, because nothing can happen on its own. But if you take advantage of the community, you can do great things and you can gain a lot of knowledge during the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have something to add there, Kosmas?
I would like to underline that CIVINET Greece-Cyprus came to Greece in order not to replace or to compete the existing organizations that were involved and are still involved in sustainable mobility, meaning that we're not playing the role of a research center or a consultancy, or we're not trying to replace the public, organizations and authorities. Our role is focused on raising awareness, capacity building, supporting the municipalities to understand, to plan, and to implement sustainable mobility measures. We can assist, and we do that, the ministries in the adaptation of the legislation framework. And of course, funding is one of our major activities. We're trying to support the local authorities to attract funding, or to support the funding organizations to create funding programs. I think one of the best examples for this, it's I think our first initiative, that it was to propose to the Ministry of Environment and Energy to create a huge funding program for SUMPs in Greece. And I think this is one of the major milestones that related to the development of sustainable mobility in this country.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you think that's one of the main things that the CIVINET has brought to the overall goals of sustainable urban mobility, or would there be other things that you think it contributes to?
Of course, sustainable mobility is in the core of our interest and activity, but sustainable mobility is not an island in the ocean. We have the sustainable energy, which is a topic completely connected to sustainable mobility. It's urban regeneration, other issues, environmental issues, social inclusion, various things that sustainable mobility should be connected and integrated in a broader effort to help cities become sustainable in a more integrated way.
Yeah, absolutely. So integration into the other systems as well. I think that's really important. And I was actually privileged enough to visit the CIVINET forum that you put on last year in Athens. And I wonder if maybe Katerina, maybe you can talk a little bit about how it went, what was the forum, and what are the plans for the future?
I think that besides, of course, what Kosmas said about what CIVINET have achieved, I think it's one of our proudest moments because it happened during December 2021. And while the pandemic was still ongoing and a lot of countries had restrictions, but we did it, and we did it in a hybrid way. And we managed to have around 220 participants on site. And if you add up the online participants, the number goes higher. So it was, I think, a great success. And it's not only in my point of view, but what our members told to us. It was great to have more than 150 representatives of organizations, of different organizations. So that's also a very huge achievement in our first conference to manage to have this kind of numbers. And we're very glad to be able to do that again. And it most likely will happen during 2023, but not in winter or in autumn.
Summer in Greece sounds
Yes,
nice.
Summer in Greece will be great. And of course, it will be a great opportunity for more participants to come and to join not only our conference, but Greece in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And you touched on the members, of course, the cities. So we can't not talk about the cities. We also, in the Urban Mobility Days, one of your cities actually won the Transformation Award as well, right?
Of course, the city of Rethymno, and we are very proud of them. They're doing such an amazing job on sustainable mobility issues.
And of course, in the finalists this year was also Ioannina, city of Ioannina, which is my birthplace.
Oh,
Not my birth, my origin place.
your hometown.
Not exactly.
Okay, but from around there, you have roots there.
Yes, I have roots.
Okay.
Roots, and I'm very happy for this. But there are also other awards that the Greek cities have been awarded during the previous months and years, meaning that in Athens, Heraklion, and also Vari Voulavouliarmeni were among the finalists of the Climate Neutral Award of CIVITAS. Rethymno was awarded the first award for the road safety of the European Mobility Week campaign. And there are also other awards during the previous years. And I think it's also very important that two very successful mayors are getting involved in the CIVITAS Political Advisory Committee. And I'm talking about the vice chair of CIVITAS PAC, Grigoris Konstantelos, and of course the achiever mayor of Rethymno, Georgis Marinakis.
Quite some accomplishments from the Greek cities. What do you think are the determining factors in if a Greek city is kind of making those transformations? Is it the political support behind them? What do you think determines their success?
Mm-hmm. I think always a success is based on a combination of factors. Of course, it's very important that to have a mayor that he has the political will to change things, mm-hmm. And to communicate this struggle. But except for the mayor, it's very important to have a team in-house the municipality, and all the cities that I mentioned have a very good team of permanent staff that are dedicated to sustainable mobility and sustainability in general. And the third key is to have a very good team coming from universities, consultancies, and other organizations of the local area or wider. And I think that also all these cities have this factor. So these three factors are very important to have a success in Greece.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think those are factors, of course, that are across the board in Europe as well. I think, yeah, as Greek cities, I've seen a lot of involvement in the Greek cities, and I also, of course, owe that. I think a lot of that owes to your involvement with them as well, and getting them more involved as well. So yeah, congratulations also to the cities. Now, we talk a lot about, of course, we want to congratulate and talk about a lot of successes. Now, I would never ask you to name a city or think or a specific project or anything, but I also don't want to skip over the fact that you've probably also experienced, I don't like to call them failures, but maybe lessons learned along the way. So do you have a time when you were maybe working with a city or something didn't go as planned, maybe in a project or with a city, and what happened and what was the lesson learned?
I think that we're facing failures in our everyday life.
Yeah.
You can't have successes without failures as well. And usually you learn more with failures than with successes.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes. But I think that Kosmas should answer that, because I'm a very pessimistic person. And if I start to talk about the failures, we can be here for days.
I think an occasion that combines at the same time failures and success is the SUMP program in Greece. We have supported more than 14 organizations to develop the SUMP, to communicate it, to prepare the tenders. Not more than 50% of them succeeded to elaborate the SUMP, to finalize it, to adopt it, and start implementing. I want to underline that Larissa, one of our core members, is the first city in Greece that elaborated an SUMP before it was trend, and now already implementing the measures which are great and really transforming the city. This is a total success, of course, including a lot of failures, but they know what kind of failures there were, and I think they're solving step by step all the problems there, so they can have the final success.
Yeah, that's a good model. And just for our listeners, in case you're not so involved in urban mobility, it's SUMPs are Sustainable Urban Mobility Plans, which of course are required now by a lot of, if cities want to get involved in European projects, for example, the Commission is actually requiring that to get involved. But yeah, it's always a question on if they actually, of course you can write as much as you want, but if you actually carry it out and follow through with it, of course that's the defining steps for them as well. So what do you think is unique about Greek challenges for cities? I'm just wondering, a lot of our listeners will be sitting in other places, and also relating to a lot of the challenges that you speak about. But I'm wondering if you can talk a bit about what do you think is unique to the Greek challenges?
I would say that if Greece has something to export at this moment regarding sustainable mobility, it's the Greek islands, because it's a very specific occasion, a specific situation, that you have municipalities, that you have destinations, that during the winter they have a very small population. You cannot say that it is an urban population, but during the summer this population becomes quite bigger, and it is then an urban population with urban needs, but without urban infrastructure and urban services. So this is a unique case that it is you can experience the situation in Greece even when you are a tourist during summer. This is not very common in other European countries, but still there are a lot of European islands. And this is a specific work, I would say, a scientific work that we're doing in the framework of CIVINET Greece-Cyprus to develop a practitioner briefing, and after that, a complete topic guide about how to plan the sustainable mobility in the European islands, and how to transform and adapt the SUMP methodology and approach into a sustainable island mobility plan approach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very interesting on that translation to the island context. So now I come to the part where I also can give you the open floor if you want it. Either one of you to talk about maybe a topic that we didn't touch on, something that you think is very important for our audience to know about CIVINET Greece-Cyprus, also about the cities that you work with, anything along those lines. So I gladly give you the floor. Would you like the floor?
Always.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I will start with a little fun fact again.
I like the facts.
CIVINET Greece-Cyprus managed in its first years to bring to CIVINET, to the CIVITAS community, more than 67 new Greek members.
Wow, yeah.
Which translate to 22% increase of the CIVITAS community, which is a huge thing.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
So yeah, this is also something we are also very proud of, and let's hope that we can also bring even more in the next years.
Because they can get the added benefit of having you all to translate, the CIVITAS missions into the local context and local language, and then they can reap the benefits of also having that European connection at the same time. So, yeah, very important. Kosmas, you look like you have something to say.
When someone asks me what is the contribution of CIVINET Greece-Cyprus in Greece and Cyprus from the year of its establishment until now, I can prove, and I say that CIVINET Greece-Cyprus is responsible for the support and for the involvement of more than 40 Greek and Cypriot cities in EU events, activities, funds, projects, and so on. So I think this is a contribution that it is important. It's something that there's not other organization in Greece working in that way and filling this kind of gaps. So this is more important for me. And of course, we can say that we have already participated and get involved in EU projects as an organization, not only CIVITAS projects, indirect med projects. It's a program that we love to collaborate, and other topics like sustainable tourism. It's a very hot topic in Greece and closely related to sustainable mobility. So I think that there is a contribution, and we love and we're very happy to see the results day by day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's I think the numbers also speak for themselves when you say the contributions, but I also think there's what's looking ahead though. Like what do you plan to scale that up even more? What are your goals for the coming year? Or 2 or 5 or 10, I guess. You can answer that however you like.
I think our vision is to become not only a cities network, but a sustainable mobility hub in Greece and Cyprus, meaning to bring together in the same table cities, ministries, the private sector, the universities, the startups, youth, and to discuss, as they did during the first CIVINET Greece-Cyprus forum, so to discuss how they can collaborate, how they can develop synergies and push things further, faster, more successfully. In this framework, we hope that we will manage to transform our CIVINET Greece-Cyprus Forum to a regional, somehow CIVITAS event, bringing people and organizations from the whole Mediterranean and Balkan area to discuss and to meet, to exchange experiences with the Greek and Cypriot cities.
Yeah, big goals. I love all the stakeholder engagement. I think it's very, very important. We did something similar when we were working with Belfast as well, bringing all the stakeholders around the same table to make a common agenda. And I think the impact of that is monumental in years to come. So yeah, anything else you want to say before we move on to our fun sections?
I would just like to add to what Kosmas said, that it's because we do love what we are doing and we want to see a change actually happening. We don't just want to bring all those people together to just talk. We actually want to see them move things forward and to actually do things. Because, okay, we can talk for hours and for days and for years, and maybe nothing ever happens, but we actually want to see something happen, and we actually want to see something happen, something different, in a different direction from what the Greek cities used to do until now.
So disruption in the normal status quo. Yeah, that's very important also. Good. All good to move on? All right. So I think you know what's coming. So we now have a segment. It's a new segment called Dual BABLE Trivia. Dual BABLE Trivia. Let the BABLE battle begin. Let's see who will be able to answer all the questions the other one has prepared. So first, Katerina, you will ask Kosmas your questions, and then we will switch, okay?
Okay, great. So my questions are more generic. So let's see if Kosmas knows his stuff and if he's truly an expert. Kosmas, we are from Greece and we are very famous about our islands. How many islands does Greece have?
I think it's estimated that Greece is home to up to 6,000 islands and islets, but only around 200 of them are being inhabited.
So 6,000 total, 200 inhabited. Oh.
He does know his stuff.
Okay, next question.
So, while we're talking about islands in Greece, we connect that immediately to the tourists. So, how many tourists do we have each year? What is going on there?
I think you should know that more tourists visit Greece every year than the entire Greek population, meaning that over 17 million tourists are visiting Greece each year. Huge number.
Not just huge. Maybe more than we can handle.
17 million? Is that what you said?
Yes. 17.
And
not 17.
Yeah. 17, but 17 is still a big number. So was he correct?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
From my knowledge, yes.
I'm going to have to Google these later and see how accurate they are. But no, I trust you. So.
No, please do. And if we are wrong, I think that you can write that on the comments.
Yeah, show notes correction here. Kosmas, please ask your questions that you prepared.
So tell me, Katerina, according to our research, how many citizens of Greek urban areas declare that they face mobility issues?
This one I know. And because of our SUMPs and all the surveys that we are doing, we have estimated that from 20% until 30% of the Greek people, they declare that they have a mobility issue.
20 to 30%?
20 to 30%, which is a very huge number, and it's not something to not considering it.
Yeah.
Considering quite seriously.
Yeah, good to know. Next question.
My second question is about the Greek politicians, and especially them who are leading the CIVINET Political Advisory Committee. Do you know them?
Of course I do, and with most of them I talk quite often. So yes, we have Miss Androutsou, which is our president of our CIVINET PAC. We have Mr. Katopodis from the municipality of Virionas. I forgot to tell that Mrs. Androutsou is from the city of Agios Dimitrios. Both of them are in the region of Attica, which is the metropolitan city of Athens. We also have two members that they are outside of Athens. It's Mr. Sultis from the city of Larissa and Mr. Grigoriadis from the city of Veria.
Very good, very good. A plus.
Thank you very much.
To both of you. Good. So now we will ask a question that we ask every guest. I'm very curious, actually, Katerina, how you will answer this differently this time. But it's a question that we say to you, in your view, your perspective, what is a smart city?
I don't want to change.
No, it's okay to change. It's okay.
I truly believe that. Usually, when we are talking about smart cities, we instantly connect that to innovation, to technology, to stuff like that. But I don't think that a smart city is only that. Of course, we are living in the 21st century. Of course, we are going to have new technologies. Of course, we want innovation. But a smart city, I think that it's a city that can actually listen to its citizens and to be able to address the issues and the problems that its citizens face.
Yeah.
And to be able to actually do something about that, even if in some cases it could be a solution of an easiest solution, actually, and not a technological one.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't always need to rely on technology to solve every problem.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, a smart city is a city that can distinguish these two things and to act accordingly.
Yeah, good answer. Kosmas, do you agree?
Surprising question. I agree about the technology part. Technology is a tool. I would say that smart city is a city that becomes sustainable, climate neutral, social just, in a lighter, quicker and cheaper way, using the motto of placemaking movement.
Ah, very good. Very concise and to the point and very nice. So wonderful from both of you. And yeah, this is it. You made it through unscathed. So huge thanks to both of you for coming on. It's always a pleasure, as I mentioned. You even were brave enough to come on twice, Katerina. So good on you.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I did that.
Because it's so much fun, right?
No, it is. And for all of you that are listening to this podcast, if Tamlin approach you in order to do a podcast, please do. You're going to have so much fun.
Yay.
Yes, say I do.
Say yes. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, thank you so much to both of you for coming on. Yeah, thanks. It's been a pleasure. And to all of our listeners, don't forget you can always create a free account on babble-smartcities.eu. And you can find out more about smart city projects, solutions, implementations, and more. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Tamlin. Thank you for having us. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you all for listening. I'll see you at the next stop on the journey to a better urban life.